Welcome back to part 2 of the High Proof Whiskey Tournament. If you haven't, go back and watch part 1. I have a bracket of my top high proof whiskeys that I have in my collection. This isn't the best overall, this is just the best out of what I have. So here's the bracket. In the first round, the Elijah Craig pulled off the upset against Blanton's. So we're here with round 2. We've got Larceny batch 524. That was a banger. It was in my top 10 bourbons of the year for 2024. Going up against the Bardstown single barrel selected by Take. It is 126 proof, 8 years old, 2 months. Without further ado, let's spin the whiskey blind and get this thing started. So up first, I got my first sample on the right, second on my left. I'll nose the first one. Very fruity. So this first one is very fruit forward. Apricot, some pear, there's honey, there's vanilla, super sweet. At first, I felt like the second one was a little bit muted on the nose compared to the first one. The first one really punched you with those fruit forward notes. This one, getting more traditional notes. This one, I'm getting the caramel, the oak, the vanilla. There's a little bit of honey. I had to search for those notes a little bit more. So I'm going to give the first one a 9 out of 10 on the aroma. The second one, I'm going to give a 7.5 out of 10. All right, let's take a sip. Very different on the palates, which is to be expected when you have a wheated bourbon going up against a traditional bourbon. The Take single barrel has a mash bill of 70% corn, 18% rye, 12% malted barley, going up against the wheater, so definitely going to be different. Let me cleanse my palate and go back for a second sip. Got my first one. That is pretty good. A little bit of ethanol forward, followed by honey, vanilla, a little bit of apricot, a little bit of raisin. Through the finish, I'm almost getting like a graham cracker note. So for the palate, I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8.5 out of 10. And the finish, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. And just for the record, this scoring system is not an exact science. I'm not exactly using a baseline. I'm just comparing one versus the other, and whatever score comes to mind is what I'm giving it. When I get to the final round, I will use the tequila matchmaker scale to get a exact score of how I would score that bourbon. I use the tequila matchmaker scale when rating a bourbon, so when we get to the final round, that is the scale I will be using. Let me cleanse my palate, and we'll go in for number 2. Number 2. The longer number 2 sits, the more the nose is coming out on it. Might have to revisit the score that I gave the nose, but the first one definitely stood out. Yeah, the nose is really opening up on this. I'm starting to get more marshmallowy notes, a little bit of graham cracker. I kind of like how it's opening up. So let's take a sip. Honey, some rye spice, there's some spice notes, a little bit of black pepper. I think the second one might be a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more balanced. Through the finish, I'm getting like a buttery popcorn type note. Overall, I mean, these are both very good. So for the palate on this one, I'm going to give it an 8.5. And I'm going to give the finish an 8.5 as well. All right, using the scoring that I use to compare these two, I have my winner. My winner is going to be the first one that I sampled. It was close. The nose really stood out compared to number 2. The palate kind of shined on number 2 compared to number 1, but these were both very good pours. I just liked how the nose really stood out on this one, and this one only edged out the other one by 1 point. So without further ado, let's see our winner. Our winner is going to be Larceny Batch 524. So Larceny Batch 524 just edged out the Bardstown single barrel by 1 point, and it will move on to the next round. Make sure you subscribe to follow along with this series so you can come back and watch part 3 of this series. Up next, we will have the Old Forester single barrel strength, the pick that I did, going up against Stag Batch 23B. So make sure you subscribe to follow along with the series. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the results. Give me some predictions. Give me predictions for the next round. Like this video, share this video. Cheers.